This is a Windows Phone 7 game review of Project Sunburst, which is an Xbox Live title and available in the marketplace for $2.99. Project Sunburst is essentially a tower defense game, but it has really interesting twists on the whole style of gameplay. For example, the first thing you'll notice is you actually need to be connected to the internet to start playing this game. Because your bases for tower defense, or what they call Project Sunburst, are actually set in real life. And you can pick a location anywhere around the world and create a base. And you can set up to 3 weapons per base, which you can buy. And you can upgrade your base to have better protection and more weapon slots and other things like that. And then you can pan around the world and you'll see that enemies here, they actually move along the actual streets in the actual world. And your guns will automatically fire at the enemies as they approach. Now you can also tap on a weapon and control it yourself here, which adds some really fun little unique gameplay. You can do that with any of your weapons, like over here I have I have a grenade launcher here. So you can launch grenades at enemies. And as you play through the game, little kind of comical jokes will pop up there to keep you entertained. You can grab this machine gun and shoot at him. So it's really neat. And that's as far as you can zoom in there, so you can see the enemies actually trucking down here. There's some enemies over here. You can fire at them. And you can also, if you have a gun selected, you can double tap on an enemy to actually target them. And it'll set a little target on your map. And throughout the game you'll have to defend people. Like you have to defend this person who's being overwhelmed by the enemies. They're all jumping onto his little car and he's trying to make it to your base. So you have to shoot all the enemies off there and then protect him the rest of the route. And as you kill enemies and as you accomplish those little missions there, you'll get more money at the top, and you'll also get little inventory things so that you can buy better upgrades here. Like you'll need these power supply upgrades so that you can upgrade your laser here. And you can upgrade the laser defense here. But notice that the upgrade said it takes 3 hours. Other upgrades may take like 10 minutes. Building a new gun usually takes like 2 minutes. But as you can see, it's really set in like real life ideas. And so in addition, like to make it more realistic, if you play at nighttime, then there'll actually be more enemies that come at you. But there'll be less of these, what they call cell terrorists, which drive in their little vans and come at you with missiles and try to bomb your little building here. So that affects the game. And of course, like, what location you picked affects the game because it affects what streets the enemies will travel down on. There are sound effects in the game, and for some reason they were turned off by default, I think. But they kind of get a bit repetitive after listening to them. Just hearing the same laser and the same machine gun and the same grenades launch and the same enemy dying sounds gets a bit repetitive. You can at least turn off those sounds and keep the music going if you want to. And so, as you can see here, you can go to your various bases that you can create, and as you progress through the game you can create more and more bases. And there's this feature called Sunburst here, which hasn't really ever worked for me. You're supposed to be able to click 3 bases and then create a little triangle of death, kind of, to kill all your enemies. But I'm not sure if my bases have to be positioned closer. You can barely see it, but there's a base there, and a base there. I'm not sure if they have to be positioned closer, or I'm just not doing something right, or I have to reach a certain level. But there's absolutely no way to use this sunburst feature, and it kind of sounds pretty neat. But nevertheless, you can create a new base here by using your current location, like your GPS location, or searching for a location here, or by just picking a location off the map. So you could pick something like any country, like France or Italy. You could defend the Leaning Tower of Pisa, maybe even. Or you could find your house and defend your house. You could defend some random city in Oklahoma here. Like if we just pick that random place. And it pulls in the images from Bing Maps here to actually show you where your place is located. And then you can buy your turrets here, like a laser, which will cost you $12. And you can see how long it takes to build each one, like 30 seconds for some of those, 45 seconds, 2 minutes to build those. And one thing that is good is you can start building a laser here. And then as it's building there, a little orange circle will go around it. Of course, this one takes 2 minutes. So you should be able to just jump to a different base and defend this base. Although enemies don't keep on attacking you while you leave your base. They all stop, and when you go back to the base, they'll just restart attacking you. But when you're working on upgrades or building weapons or anything like that, they do keep on building over time. However, if you exit the game, I don't believe they keep on building. We can try that right now. I'll just skip ahead like 1 minute in the video here and see where it's at. Okay, so we're going back into our base here, and we're going to see if the weapon kept on building after we left the game. And it actually does keep on building your weapon. So that means you could start an upgrade for a laser like this one here. And that upgrade takes 3 hours to complete. So you could start the upgrade and then leave the game and go on with something in your day and come back and the upgrade should be finished. I only had one problem with that. I tried doing that once, and when I came back into the game, all of my upgrades on turrets were gone. I don't know why, but something about it just didn't work. You can also upgrade like sandbags to help the defense of your turret and stuff like that. And you can actually rotate the map completely and zoom in and out with your pinch to zoom there. The controls are really nice. Some of the turrets will fire just by tapping on them and dragging behind them. Other turrets, like mortars, you can just drag out in front of you and like pick the location where you want to drop the mortar. And if enemies damage your turrets or something, you can go in here and click repair all and repair them for a price. And they also say that you'll gain some XP for like traveling distance in the real world or something like that, or you'll unlock some weapons for doing that. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I guess it possibly does. they could kind of use a little manual for this, because it is a really, really interesting game. It has so many features, but they don't really tell you about these features. You kind of just have to find them out on your own. The visuals in the game are pretty neat. The characters are kind of choppily animated, but it's just really cool to see a location from your real world come to life in a video game and try to defend it from attacking hordes of whatever these alien monsters are. Oh, and one other neat feature about the game is you can actually pick a turret, like this one, and you can place a friend on it. So if one of your friends is playing this game, then you could send him in there, and you could have him man the turret for you. Because sometimes a human manning the turret is better than the AI manning the turret. So this is actually an example of multiplayer on Windows Phone 7, which is really neat. And then if you don't want him to be on there anymore, you can remove him. Overall, Project Sunburst is a really neat and extremely innovative game that is usually a joy to play. Occasionally I've run into the problem where it says that there's an error and it can't connect to the server, and I read on some other marketplace reviews that other people have already ran into that issue, but hopefully they'll get those issues fixed soon, because this game was released just, I think, 1 day ago, so maybe they're having some server issues right now. But otherwise, like recently, the last few times I played it, it's been working perfectly. If you're looking for a fresh new game that has creative ideas and is similar to Tower Defense, this game will truly keep you entertained for over 3 hours, I'd say. I mean, you can get as much gameplay as you want out of this, but it's extremely entertaining. And you can find it in the Windows Phone Marketplace for $2.99.